subscribe to the channel, and comment down below saying I subscribe to enter this month's shoutout giveaway. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Film Discover. Pawn Stars is a highly well-known reality TV drama that fixates on the day-by-day exchanges of the world-famous gold and silver pawn shop in Las Vegas. What's more, similar to any pawn specialist, Rick, the old man, Corey, and Chumley have the troublesome undertaking of wrangling with merchants. Clearly, the estimation of these things is totally emotional and reliant on heaps of components, like the uncommonness and condition and on how desperately it does the seller need cash. Also, the show's oft-rehashed mantra, I gotta make a benefit here. That stated, we've decided to concentrate on the occasions when the Pawn Stars made sketchy arrangements that wound up with sellers being in heavy loss. Samurai swords. Samurai swords are signed by the key heroes of the most famous makers of the Japanese sword history. Adding to that, there's honestly a major business for those who can make modern equivalents and sometimes pawn them off as their unique counterparts, which are a scam. Shops like gold and silver pawn shops need to be aware of, which is where Chumley comes in. A customer bought a set of samurai swords one day and Chumley was blown away by looking at them. He was so enamored by them that he spent $4,000 on the pair, which is a lot of money for a pair which he didn't even verify as real. They always have experts check that, but Chumley didn't do it this time. When Rick heard about the deal, which happened without his consent, he wasn't very happy. He was so mad that he took the swords to a local expert to see what was real and what's fake, and obviously what was the cost. Rick was surprised to know that not only was it real, but they were also from a much known maker and dated back to the 1400s and worth around $13,000. Book from Isaac Newton's library. A merchant from season 3, Bob, arrives with a 450-year-old book on alchemy that he claims is from Sir Isaac Newton's library. Obviously, the old man brings in an expert, Gary, who advises everybody that it is in fact a book from the well-known scholar's assortment. In spite of the fact that the cover had been reconditioned, probably done in the 1700s, he said. Still, Gary puts the retail estimation of the book at $20,000. Incredibly, Bob at that point sells it for $7,000 when they say, you know, if I give you $7,000 for it, I won't have money for dinner tonight.
You know, it's a very interesting history.
Perseus and Pegasus statue. When a gentleman came to the pawn shop to sell a Perseus and Pegasus statue for $6,000, which was made by Picault, it was an ancient statue, and to make it more special, only 800 copies of the statue were ever made. Rick was impressed with it, but when he checked it out, it came in that the statue was not original, so he was reluctant to buy it now. The man was not ready to accept this fact, so he kept on arguing because he could see Picault's name carved in it, and he rushed out of the shop shouting that it's Rick's loss if he doesn't buy it as it was so special.
What doesn't look right is there's some pitting right here.
Fake mandolin. Chumley once, in an attempt to outsmart the seller, bought a fake mandolin for $1,500. That was initially pitched for $3,000. He thought that he'd sound smart after striking this fake bargain, but instead he ended up making a fool of himself. Yep, that's typical Chumley for you. He sounded quite funny muttering, "I hate mandolins," as he left the place with the instrument specialist, who verified that the mandolin he brought in was bogus. Autographed screenplay for The Godfather. This one falls into the class of a nearly sham, since the vendor, Diane, didn't leave behind her thing, a duplicate of The Godfather screenplay autographed by Al. Yet we're including it here due to what an awful offer it truly was. After Rick's penmanship master, John, checks that Diane's screenplay is without a doubt marked by Al Pacino, Rick offers Diane $500 for it, halfway dependent on John's recommendation that it would most likely just get $1,000 at a sell-off. She basically leaves saying, since we realize it's Al Pacino's signature, a fundraiser would let me get more money than that, and she was absolutely correct. Comics. During season 15 of the show, a woman named Chelsea entered the show with 7 large rectangle boxes full of comic books. Chumley was behind the desk and initiated the conversation for a deal. Chelsea asked for $2,000 for the pile while Chumley hesitated. Chumley proceeded with a purchase of $500 without calling on the experts. Later, it was found that the comics were only worth $200, making Rick question Chumley's ability as a salesperson.
I have my uncle's comic book collection.
1962 Lincoln Continental. In another season 1 scene, Rick and the old man make a deal on a refurbished 1962 Lincoln Continental. Devin, the seller, claims he did the greater part of the motor work himself. However, he's put enough time and money into it, so he's prepared to sell it. He says he needs to get $13,000 to $14,000. However, the interior is strongly neglected, so Devin in the end gets just $9,500 for it. Notably, the first showroom cost for the vehicle was $10,000. Which means they paid less for the vehicle in 2009 than it cost in 1962. Not the usual situation with most classic cars. Anyway, there's the standard hand-wringing about whether the rebuilding costs will monetarily wreck them. In any case, they didn't. They burned through $15,000 to recover the vehicle into showroom shape, yet they were left with a vehicle worth $30,000 to $35,000 depending on the buyer. Which means this arrangement was a potential $5,500 to $10,500 gain for the Pawn Stars. 1984 Chris Craft boat. In an early scene of Pawn Stars, Corey faces a colossal challenge on purchasing a 1984 Chris Craft boat for $16,500 before having a specialist look it over. As the standard catch of the show, Rick and the old man falter at the amount Corey spent on such an unsafe buy until it's later uncovered that with only $4,000 of reclamation work, it is reestablished to a sale price of $30,000. That most likely made for an unbalanced review from Merchant Dino, who says he bought the vessel for $25,000. I have your back and was looking to hopefully get no less than $20,000 for it from the pawn shop. It needs a little bit more work than I can afford to put back into it, Dino says, not understanding that on the off chance he paid $4,000, he could have made back the initial investment as opposed to an $8,500 misfortune. Tupac BMW. The Pawn Stars deal in cars, but most of them are brought to the Harrisons' attention by Chumley. One day, Chumley found a car that was originally owned by the star of 90s Tupac. Tupac's death was very mysterious, which gave more value to anything he owned. The car which Chumley found was the one in which the incident happened with Tupac, and the car was originally restored. It was said by the local appraiser that the car would go up to $1 million deal, which was a big bingo for the Harrisons.
This is the car he got shot at.
Super Mario statue. A massive and heavy statue of Mario was brought into the gold and silver pawn shop. After some haggling, the statue was bought by Chumley for $550. Not knowing what the actual worth of the statue was, it was revealed that memorabilia of Mario could go on for a lot of money, which makes it a lucky day for the Harrisons. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.